time to get real. It's Realtv. Whitewater rafters take the plunge, but then they disappear.
Where is everybody?
A deranged man threatens to drop the baby unless he gets what he wants. And wait till you hear what he wants. Air Force Thunderbirds thrill the crowd, but two of them touch in midair.
An eye blink away from a disaster.
Plus, Realtv remembers the shocking moments when a madman on a Texas tower took potshots at innocent victims. And the bride, who will never forget her wedding day. This is Realtv for Friday, November 12th, 1999. In today's top story, Jeff Burlingham and his buddies come to the White Salmon River in Washington State to take advantage of the wicked waterfalls.
Spirit of adventure is what gets my blood flowing.
Locals say the falls are only suitable for kayakers, but Jeff and his friends disregard the warnings and bring out their rafts. As you'll see, they have no problem conquering the river. They take each fall one at a time, going over and over and over again. But then, one daring duo takes a terrible tumble. The rafters are nowhere in sight, and everyone is getting worried. Finally, to everyone's relief, they make it out alive. But they still have to get to shore. They make it out okay, but that wasn't the only close call. Here, one of them tries the kayak, a dangerous decision. It doesn't look like much at first, but this guy is stuck in a whirlpool that won't let him go.
Slowly going, man. Don't get too tired. Get out of there, baby.
30 seconds later, and he's still struggling to break free.
Get out there. Go.
He continues to row frantically and finally escapes the stronghold of the current. It was a day full of thrills and excitement. A day these men consider a triumph.
Hi, I'm John Daly in the Realtv newsroom. Next, one of the most disturbing stories we've ever seen here at Realtv. A man holds his baby hostage, and at one point, he even dangles the little boy out the window. An innocent child faces death at the hands of the man who gave him life, his own father. A news camera crew captures the horror of this early morning standoff. The father threatens to kill his son after a court awards custody to the mother. In a strange move, the crazed dad requests a case of beer from police.
Let me see the beer. Now!
Upside down over the street now. Upside down over the street now. He's leaning out of the window and he's holding the child out over the street.
Sharpshooters take up positions as the knife-wielding father gets more and more agitated. His anger over losing the court custody battle turns to rage. He begins tossing furniture to the street below.
Alpha 71, he's starting to throw stuff out of the window. Stereo just went out the window.
Police crouch beneath the window and carry a blanket. They may have to use it to try to catch the child if the worst happens. The father returns to the window, makes another demand for beer, and puts his son back in harm's way.
Make no move until everybody is aware, and then we only move in if it's inevitable.
Police negotiators tell the man they've got his beer, but he doesn't believe them.
We showed him that we had the beer, and I offered him a bottle. This was out of view of the cameras that were filming at the time.
Finally, officers convince the man to come to the door and get his beer. He does, and that's when they grab him.
They said there was no charges. Look at them. They're arresting.
Police rescued the little hostage. 2-year-old Michael Gaudry is unhurt in the ordeal and wears a big smile as Sergeant Bob Meanley carries him to safety.
When we finally had apprehended Mr. Gaudry and I managed to grab that kid and he was fine, I was just completely overwhelmed with a sense of relief. I gave my son a big hug when I got home, and I thought about the Gaudry boy and how lucky my own son was not to have had to experience that.
When it comes to precision flying, the Air Force Thunderbirds are the best of the best. These Top Gun pilots pride themselves on executing the most difficult maneuvers with pinpoint accuracy. You've seen them before on Realtv. We've even taken you inside the cockpit on a fly-along. In this sequence, specially mounted wing cameras give you an idea of how tight these formations are. Keep in mind, the planes are traveling more than 400 miles per hour and are separated by only 18 inches. The Thunderbirds spend most of their time performing at air shows around the world. On this day, the troop is at Patrick Air Force Base in Florida. Realtv fans in the stands are watching the action with their home video cameras. With the Air Force anthem blaring in the background, the Thunderbirds take to the sky and move into a diamond formation. But as they lock into place, the number 3 and 4 planes bump. The pilots call it rubbing metal, but at speeds like this, it could be catastrophic. A second camera angle gives us a much closer look at the bump. As the 4 fighters move into formation, the number 3 plane drops back and bumps its left tail section into the right wing of the number 4 plane. After the collision, the number 3 plane reduces speed and splits off from the formation. Realtv tried to speak with the pilots about the incident, but they declined the interview. So we contacted an expert. Retired Air Force pilot Colonel John Johnston says it could have been much worse.
An eye blink away from a disaster. These guys are right on the edge of a fine shaven knife blade. That's how they fly. It was miraculous flying by excellent pilots to complete a safe escape from that situation.
The Air Force temporarily grounded the Thunderbirds while they reviewed the incident. But today, they're back in the skies flying again. Colonel Johnston reminds us that minor accidents can happen in extreme flight situations, but these pilots are trained to handle it.
For an instant, something went wrong, and a couple of great pilots recovered from it. Great pilots.
This is how the news covered the massacre.
49 persons were hit by gunfire.
Coming up, looking back at the Texas Tower shooting. And the horse that ruined her wedding day.
Well, it's not every day that the bride gets dumped literally on her wedding day.
Don't go away. You're watching Realtv.
Welcome back. Long before there was Columbine, there was the Texas Tower Massacre. Now, if you're too young to remember, or if you've never seen the footage, this is the story of one shocking day in our country's history that can only be described as unforgettable. It was a horrific moment in American history. A crazed gunman cutting down innocent people on a street by the dozens.
Apparently a madman located on top of the university tower, firing and shooting at any movable target that he can see.
Today, it's the kind of story we hear all too often. But in 1966, on the peaceful campus at the University of Texas, it was unthinkable.
I could see the sniper on top of the tower shooting at people. And then as I got closer, I could see people hiding behind cars.
Neil Spells has covered many stories in his years as a reporter. But there's one story he'll never forget. It happened on a hot day in August. Spells was at TV station KTBC in Austin when he got the call. someone was shooting from the observation deck of the University of Texas Tower. Spelce ran for his car. Moments later, he would see people running for their lives.
Heat unbearable, bearing down, sirens screaming, people yelling.
Film photographers went into action. Spelce got on his two-way radio and began a broadcast to the world. The first reporter on a story that would change America forever.
It's like a battle scene. It's like, there's another shot and another shot. Apparently, police are returning the fire now.
No one knew much about the man who turned a quiet campus into a killing field. 25-year-old Charles Whitman, a one-time altar boy, Eagle Scout, and graduate student, and a former Marine sharpshooter as well. No one has ever determined why Whitman killed his wife and mother, then dragged a case full of weapons to the tower and rained terror for 90 minutes. Police revolvers couldn't match Whitman's arsenal. Citizens began showing up and shooting back with their deer rifles.
At this point, you see, he can see us, but we're over there against the wall.
Nearby, another reporter arrived on the scene.
At this point,
Robert Hurd from the Associated Press, following closely behind two policemen. But unfortunately for him, not closely enough.
As I get to about here, this is where he hit me in the left shoulder and spun me a quarter turn, and I staggered on about 3 yards and fell on that 100-degree pavement.
Robert Hurd survived a badly wounded shoulder, but others weren't so lucky. By the time police broke into the tower and shot Whitman down, 16 people were dead, 33 injured. Next to Whitman's body was a transistor radio. It was tuned to Neil Spelce.
Here is KTBC television news editor Neil Spelce.
Good evening. One of history's worst mass murders occurred here in Austin today.
That night, a young Neil Spelce went live on all three major networks, trying to make sense of it all.
The full impact of today's tragedy still has not been felt.
He got through it all right, but it would never make sense. Not then, and not today. When Spelce looks out on the University Tower from his home in Austin, and where the once deadly view is peaceful again.
Never in any person's life would you want anyone to witness what we had to witness that day. You don't wish that on anyone. And it just never, ever leaves you.
And he's coolly and calmly sitting up there firing away.
Drivers are frightened by them. Cops want them off the street. Coming up next, drag racing on city streets. Realtv has the inside story as party animals become public menaces. And a wedding horror story. It's the ceremony they'll never forget. Realtv's Kristen Eichel has the unforgettable story when we come back. You're watching Realtv.
Hi, I'm Kristen Eichel. Many women dream about their wedding day. Some young ladies even start fantasizing about that day when they're little girls. But no one could ever imagine what happens to this bride in one very unlucky moment. You're watching a nuptial nightmare in the making in Amarillo, Texas. James and Eva Clark spent months planning their cowboy wedding. Problem is, they never rehearsed.
We hadn't practiced any of it. We had talked it through and talked it through and talked it through with the family, with ourselves.
Unfortunately, talk is cheap. And Eva pays the price.
So everything happened real fast.
The horse has been skittish since the ceremony began, but now it's flat out spooked.
My initial response was, what's causing this? And hoping that everyone's hanging on tight.
Eva tries to hold on, but the ride is just a bit too bumpy. Eva is thrown to the ground and hits a concrete walkway. Friends and family run to help. Eva's in pain and suffering cuts and scratches. But this bride is gonna be okay.
First thing I was going to do is I was going to sell this horse.
No, you weren't.
Because he ruined my wedding.
No, you weren't.
Or I thought he ruined my wedding. Actually, he just made it better. Just more exciting. I was going to sell him or kill him one. But as you can see, it didn't do neither.
Looking back, James and Eva understand all the excitement scared the horse. Even Eva laughs about it now, branding it a real TV moment.
Well, it's not every day that the bride gets dumped literally on her wedding day. That's why I think it's a real TV moment.
Yeehaw! Later, when Eva looked at the tape, she realized that she may have spooked the horse by digging her high heels into its side. She picked herself up, dusted herself off, and went back to the reception and danced.
Monday on Real TV, the chase everyone hoped to avoid.
Northbound 16th.
He's got 3 kids and a young lady with him, and the worst is yet to come.
He's completely out of control.
This car needed to be stopped for the safety of the children.
That's Monday. Still ahead today, everybody was kung fu fighting on the set in Hollywood.
Well, street racing has been going on for years, but it's more dangerous now. The streets are more crowded, and the machines are more powerful. As a result, racing for kicks is killing innocent bystanders. Here's our look at the dragsters in today's installment of our Real TV series on Party Animals. In Southern California, where the car is king, these party animals get their kicks from speed, the racing kind.
There's a lot of fast cars.
These illegal and dangerous drag races happen in the middle of the night on public roads. It's called street racing, and Real TV obtained these underground tapes to show you exactly what goes down on these streets.
You guys want to run?
Let's do it. Winning isn't just about bragging rights. There's some money riding on these races.
How much we go for? 20 bucks? All right.
And it's not just the tires that are smoking.
This is for you, Mom!
Pot and beer are the feel-good highs of choice for some of this crowd.
When you come down there, have fun.
We're going to get silly tonight.
The potentially deadly combination of high speeds and high times has police worried.
They're attaining speeds of well over 100 miles an hour in the quarter mile that they've marked off. The possibility of hurting or killing someone is tremendous.
So the cops do their best to find and bust up street races whenever they can.
Do you know that speed racers hang out in this area? Yeah, you heard about it, huh? Okay.
How much you had to drink tonight? No. Come on. Now, how old do I look? I wasn't born yesterday.
Uh-oh, blue backup lights.
Police hand out tickets for an assortment of violations, trying to discourage the teens from gathering.
I'm going to go find me someone to write up.
Okay, first of all, the reason why you're being stopped, front license plates are properly positioned.
But these kids aren't about to be stopped by a couple of citations.
Basically, they do anything they can to get us out of here. Parking tickets, fix-it tickets, curfew tickets, no front license plate, anything they can do to get us out of here. The courts make their money, and we go home. We come back the next week, they do it again. That's it. Kids nowadays have money to spare. I know, yeah. We have money to throw away. Money to throw away?
Watching this video, you can only hope their need for speed doesn't turn a street party into a tragedy.
If you have a tape you think we should see, give us a call toll-free at 1-888-REAL-TV1. Or on the web, you can find us at realtv1.com.
And finally, if you were at one Hollywood film location recently, you might have mistaken it for a rumble. Real TV cameras were there to capture an unusual star sighting. These are China's real-life Kung Fu cops. And these are Kung Fu cops' Hollywood stars.
Did that scare you?
It's hijinks and high kicks on the set of Martial Law. And we're right there to bring you some action-packed Real TV.
I try to speak English. Very hard for me. This is my character.
Martial arts superstar Sammo Hung lets his actions speak much louder than his words on his hit series. It's a lot easier today for Sammo's sexy sidekick, Kelly Hugh.
I get paid to do this.
But Sammo is working very hard for his money. When he's not fighting, he's helping choreograph the chaos in his native tongue. He's a charming guy with amazing talents, and Sammo promises Realtv we'll be hearing plenty more from him.
I have a lot of things to say, you know, but let me learn English better than I can say more.
Looks like a lot of fun. Well, that's it for now. We'll see you next time when, once again, we get real right here on Realtv.